everyone, Marty and Andrew here from Podcast Beyond, doing a Beyond Let's Play of Rise of the Tomb Raider, the 20th anniversary collection.
20-year celebration.
20-year celebration.
It's finally on PS4.
Yeah, Rise of the Tomb Raider is coming to PS4 on October 11th later this year, and Andrew and I got a chance to go down to Crystal Dynamics. This is we recorded a playthrough of one of the new modes, which is a co-op version of the endurance mode. So what's going on right here, Andrew? This is your footage. So if something looks bad or if you do a weird thing, it's because you're a weird dude.
It's my fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. So this is the co-op version of Endurance, and the first thing that's worth mentioning that I think is interesting is that you play as Lara, obviously, but your co-op partner is her friend, Nadia.
Yes.
But the weird thing is, so if Marty and I are playing, I see myself as Lara, and I see him as Nadia. But who do you see yourself as?
I see myself as Laura, and I see you as Nadia, which is canonically the true way you play this game.
And if you stand on a rooftop yelling, you have to prove to your husband who the real Lara is.
Why do you drive on parkways and park on driveways?
But yeah, so you're in this co-op mode, kind of version of Endurance, and for anyone who didn't play Endurance on Xbox One or PC, the idea is that it's almost like Dark Souls meets Don't Starve, where you are trying to survive for as many days as possible out in the wilderness, and you have these two new meters in the top left, which you'll see after we exit out of this, which are for your hunger and your warmth.
Yep. And so you need to kill a bunch of animals and then eat them to keep your hunger up. And then warmth is either if you're inside a cave or a tomb, you're fine, or if you're by a fire. Whether you make a fire outside, make a bonfire, if you're by that, you will raise your warmth.
Yeah, and as you're running around, you'll find these tombs, which we're in one now. And yeah, like Marty said, like it's sort of a pros and cons situation where when you're inside, you don't have to worry about coldness, but you do have to worry about hunger because you can't
really
hunt.
No animals, yeah.
And then outside is vice versa. You have a bunch of rabbits and deer and stuff that you can hunt, but you're in the freezing cold. So
yeah, and so you see those 2 meters. They're green at the top, so you're fine. And then the meters underneath them are you collectively have 3 lives. And so what happens when your health reaches 0? It's sort of the down but not out from Borderlands, or just think of like Gears of War.
Fight for your life.
Fight for your life. So yeah, that counts as 1 life, but then your partner has a chance to come and revive you like they do in those games. But after 3 of those sort of deaths or whatever you want to call them, it's game over and you got to restart. Or if both of you are downed at the same time, it's game over. You have to start. So
and we should mention that as you're going through this, you're collecting like relics and all this stuff to gain experience. And the longer you go, the more experience you're going to earn. But yeah, if you die, that's it. You lose everything you had.
Yeah.
And so what you need to do is there are some gigantic bonfires throughout the world. And when you get to those bonfires, you can use them to extract, and then you get to keep everything you had.
Yeah, so it's that, like Dark Souls, it's that risk-reward of, like, how far do you want to push it before you extract? Because if you're like, well, we can get 1 more tomb, and we can get even more loot that we could take back and use to buy cards and everything for Expedition mode, or do you want to play it safe and be like, listen, let's just do this right now so that we don't have to worry about it?
And you may see me hitting traps. I was terrified. There's some pauses, some moments of pausing because I let my co-op partner go ahead of me.
Yes.
Because I was very scared to go ahead.
We're not brave.
Because there are all kinds of traps. You'll also see me kind of running along the walls as we discover stuff. That was looking for, so in the main game, if you ran up to paintings or artifacts, you could learn languages and kind of get sort of more skills, as it were, for Lara.
Yeah.
The way it is here, it's less about that. It's more about collecting resources and finding weapons and being able to craft things because the big focus is making sure that you can stay alive.
Yeah, definitely. And this is one of the new modes in the 20-year celebration, which is coming to PS4 on October 11th. It includes all of the DLC from the original, including the Baba Yaga stuff, as well as all the sort of pre-order bonuses that were from different places. So you get everything that's ever been released for Rise of the Tomb Raider on Xbox One and on PC. Then you also get this mode. You get classic skins that are sort of based on the polygonal Lara model from the PS1 era. And then there's 2 other really cool new single-player modes. One of which is called Blood Ties, which is a short story that's sort of set. It's Lara at Croft Manor, and she's going through this legal dispute with her uncle over who's the rightful heir to the manor. And the way it unfolds is it's non-combat. It's exploring the manor, solving puzzles, and sort of learning about Lara's family through all the relics that are and items and household things that are in the mansion, which is a lot like Gone Home.
Yeah, it feels a lot like Gone Home. It's that cool way where you're still doing essentially what you do in Tomb Raider, which is like finding historical documents and learning from them, except instead of being about some like ancient civilization, it's about your family.
Yeah.
And it's really cool because like one of the things you're trying to do is open a safe, and so you have to listen to an audio diary about the night your mother and father met, and you kind of take notes like, okay, well, that was on this date, so maybe that's a part or the whole combination for the safe and things like that.
It's really cool. Like the mansion, like Gone Home, it's kind of spooky, but there's no monsters or anything. And it's also really cool. Except, wait, you segued too early.
Oh
I
no.
had a thing I want to talk
Okay, well
about.
finish your thing. Let's put a pin in my except.
The one true exclusive to the PS4 version of Rise of the Tomb Raider, because the rest of this stuff is going to be available, downloadable if you own the game on Xbox One or on PC.
Yep.
The true exclusive thing is that you're able to play through that Blood Ties in PlayStation VR. So it's this first-person VR experience where you're playing through this story and wandering around Croft Manor within VR, which is super cool. And that's something that we've sort of talked about a lot on the show about the idea of stuff like Uncharted and The Last Guardian having sort of these smaller side experiences that
and like a supplemental thing, because this is cool because there's no combat. It makes perfect sense to play in first person.
Yeah. But then what is the final mode? Your really great segue about how there's no monsters.
Well, I mean, let's rewind, and you set me up again.
Yeah. So it's spooky like Gone Home, but there are no monsters in the mansion.
Except in thank you, I appreciate that, buddy.
That was really good.
There's another mode called Lara's Nightmare, which is sort of like the way that you have Call of Duty Zombies sort of complements the main campaign in that it's still mechanically the same, but it's a little more tongue-in-cheek. This is going to be sort of a weirder alternate version of being in the Croft Mansion, except it's filled with zombies, and you are looking... Sorry, I should interrupt myself really quick. You may see the screen getting hazy here. If you look in the top left, that is because I'm hungry.
That's what happens if you got one of those Arby cravings, and you're like, I need an Arby roast beef.
Yep.
And then your vision.
This mode was inspired by you and I in a 1 p.m. meeting.
By an Arby roast beef. Yeah.
Yeah, but sorry to continue what I was saying. So Lara's Nightmare, rather, you have zombies roaming around Croft Manor, and you discover guns. You're not crafting. You are finding things as you go.
Super limited resources, limited guns, limited
Feels
ammo.
like Resident Evil a little bit.
Yeah, it totally feels like Resident Evil. And sort of the objective of that is there's these... the map isn't procedurally generated, but where the enemies are and where you spawn are. And so there are 3 skulls around, these just floating, flaming skulls that you have to destroy. And once you destroy all 3, you go to the sort of the hallway, the Great Hall of Croft Manor, and you fight some sort of a boss, which might be a robot, or might be a zombie, or might be both.
So we're outside now. I'm looking for food.
Yeah.
I'm hunting to try and find food.
I believe in you, Andrew.
I don't like the animal I end up finding, I can tell you that.
What animal? Is it the most
It's
delicious
a bear.
It is a bear.
Oh, God.
So Andrew's
I get torn apart
Revenant right now?
Yep, I get torn apart almost immediately.
Yeah, this didn't go well for you.
Which leaves my co-op partner to, number 1, have to revive me, but number 2...
setting the bear on fire.
Setting the bear on fire. Yep.
Which is really great.
Which I still go down anyway.
Yeah.
But here you see I have 57 seconds now to revive.
Yeah.
And he has to fight off the bear and also come help me recover.
Now the bear is the bear owns you now.
Yep.
You belong to the bear.
The bear is my friend.
Yeah, you legally belong to the bear. I don't think the bear is your friend. The bear literally wants to kill you. Oh, and now we shot a cool poison.
So, yep, he shot some cool poison, did an awesome roll move. Wow, that was actually really cool looking. And then revives me, and then I'm stupid.
You're going to get out of the way right away.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Totally stand there like a dummy.
Not great.
And yeah, at this point, I'm running away. We do eventually take down the bear, which then you can get all kinds of food from.
Yep.
The one nice thing is that obviously the bear is a tougher enemy, but it gives you more food.
Yeah, definitely. And what we played, the game comes out in October. This was a pre-beta, pre-alpha?
Pre-beta.
Pre-beta.
Yeah.
This is an early version of the game. But yeah, it's awesome playing this. Like, this is one of our favorite games of 2015, and a ton of folks who just have a PS4 and maybe don't have a gaming PC or an Xbox One missed out on this. And this is arguably, one of, if not the best Xbox One game. So I'm super stoked for the idea of, as of October 11th, that people with a PS4 are going to be able to play this and sort of like understand why when we were talking about Uncharted 4 earlier this year, we would always sort of bring up a comparison to Rise of the Tomb Raider because both games are amazing in their own rights, but both games do different things better than the other one does.
That's right. Yeah, I think this is the gameplay loop in this is a little more Last of Us, I would say, in that you do have crafting and you do have kind of more limited resources, whereas Uncharted is more about the story and more about kind of progressing that.
Yeah.
So now, as you can see, despite eating that bear, or because of eating that bear, I should say, I have plenty of food. But because we're outside now, I'm very cold.
Yes.
Also, I shot that boar with a gun, which was loud, obviously, and it alerted.
The little alert on the right. So it is this interesting push and pull of you and your partner, wanting to upgrade skills that complement each other, but then at the same time, man, how far do we push it? How far do we go before we're like, hey, we just need to bail and finish this? And
one interesting thing is that it does take all kinds of stuff in the environment into account. So as you can see right now, I'm getting hurt, obviously. My health is getting low. I'm cold, really in danger kind of all around right now.
You're real full, though. You had a real good Arby, and so you're fine.
Had a real good bear, but here's a creative solution for warming me up is that My co-op partner is like, okay, there's no campfire supplies nearby. You see me here kind of scavenging to try and find some health or some bushes that'll recover me. But instead, my co-op partner here comes up with what I think is a pretty smart method.
Yes, it's good to have a co-op partner who is a developer on the video game.
Yep.
Because,
So
I would not have done this.
What they end up doing is crafting some fire arrows and shooting me with those to give me a little bit of warmth.
That's what if someone really important to you left you at one point in your life and you feel like you've lost that inner warmth that kept you through the cold nights, shoot yourself with a fire arrow.
Light an arrow shaft on fire and
who
just
needs love when you
shoot
have
it at the
fire
ground
arrows?
near them.
Yeah.
So you see here, they shoot the ground and then I walk into it and I do actually take damage, but that meter in the top left fills up.
So there's a lot of interesting, again, sort of like Don't Starve you mentioned. It's about sort of thinking outside the box. I mean, like, what kind of weird stuff can we do to, help us survive a little bit longer?
For sure.
Which is super cool. So, Andrew, thank you very much. We're going to have so much more on Rise of the Tomb Raider leading up to its October 11th release, as well as Let's Plays of all sorts of games on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/IGN Beyond. Go there. We're going to do Let's Plays of brand new games that come out that week. We're going to do Let's Plays of classic PlayStation games on their anniversary. We have some weird things lined up, like making Alana play Madden because she doesn't know how football works. I think someone's going to make me play Duck Dynasty, which is just a terrible thing that no one should ever do.
I'm going to make Altano play Persona.
We're going to make Altano play Persona. Yeah, so we're going to be putting these up a couple times a week, and it's going to be the two of us, some combination of us and Max and Altano and Alana and all of our weirdo Beyond friends that we've accumulated over the past couple of years. Thank you so much, Andrew. For everything else, Rise of the Tomb Raider and PlayStation 4, you're already in the right place. IGN.